primary example of UVB biased exposure comes from our contemporary sunscreens. We know that the filters that dominate market sunscreens are all UVB. So the UVA protection is limited to those few filters, namely avobenzone and zinc oxide, that have the ability to attenuate UVA, particularly between 350 and 400. So if you take your typical sunscreen, SPF 50, this means that assuming that the SPF value is correct, which it isn't, but that's another issue, an SPF 50 is attenuating or extincting, meaning it's absorbing 98% of the UVB radiation. Now, I like to look at transmission curves, and it's true the consumer and the average physician never looks at transmission curves. They look at static numbers that appear on the label, which are supposed to mean certain things. But it's actually comes down to looking at transmission if you want to get a very good idea of what sunscreens are doing. So an SPF 50 is transmitting 2% of UVB. Now, when you look at the full spectrum transmission curves, you'll see that the typical brand name sunscreen can actually transmit 30 or more % of the UVA radiation hitting it. So if you're letting through 2% UVB, but you're letting through 30% UVA, that's a 15-to-1 bias towards UVB. And that is the problem, that the majority of sunscreens have this bias towards UVB and really cannot prevent skin cancer or photoaging.